Welcome to BP311 Weekday Sports Picks for Thursday, 3/24/2022. I've been on a bit of a skid lately. Let's get that out of the way. 4-0 Sunday was great. 0-3 Monday was not. 1-2-1 on Tuesday, and then 0-4 on Wednesday. So if you want to fade, be my guest. If you want to ignore me altogether, well, that's unfortunate. If you think I'm due for some wins, that's how I'm feeling. Let's see what I got today. So like, comment, share, and subscribe, please. We are growing the audience. Everything's about timing, and unfortunately my timing right now hasn't been great. I grew a lot yesterday, 5 additional subscribers, more views than I've had in a minute, and I just bombed. So worked a little extra hard. You know, a couple of these picks I made earlier in the week, but the 3 that I took new for today between the NBA and the NHL, I definitely put some time in on. Hopefully, you know, that wields us some better results. So let's do this. Let's do the recap. It's painful, but we'll do it. I took Middle Tennessee State -4.5, but I think the world was on that side of it. I just didn't see the other thing happening, and it did. UNC Wilmington wins in overtime, 96-90. That's a loss. Pistons beat the Hawks after they couldn't beat the Trailblazers. I know the Hawks were on a back-to-back, but I just didn't feel like Detroit was a strong enough team to impose that. 122-101 Detroit. That's a loss. 76ers and Lakers. Sixers win, but they only won by 4 points. 126-121. I had them by 7.5, so that loss because they didn't cover. Avalanche -1.5. Straight up loss to the Canucks on a back-to-back. 3-1. Rough day. So let's move on. Let's move on to Thursday. Sweet 16's back. March Madness in full effect. I got a couple in the NHL for you, 1 in the NBA and 2 in the NCAA. And if you were watching the previous shows this week, and if you were checking out the live on Johnny Hanwin's YouTube channel with me and Bo and Johnny, you know about these picks. But I'm going to go over the NCAA ones anyway, even though they've already been spoken of. Let's go. I'm going to try something different today. I'm going to do a timeline instead of doing sport by sport. And I'd like you guys to let me know how you feel about that. Jeff Morton, especially my #1 fan, who actually, I know he subscribes, I know he watches. Sorry, buddy, if I lost your money the last few days. It's been rough. I lost a lot of money along with you. But comment and let me know what you think. If the timeline, as far as what time the games are happening, is something that I should do, or if I should stick to the sport-by-sport breakdown. I'm going to try the timeline today and just see how it goes. Overall record is not looking good. 0-4 on Wednesday, 40-42-3 on March, dropping below 500, 109-99-4 all time. Still above 500 there, not as far as I'd like to be. Like I said, let's try to get back to the black or the green, however you want to put that. Let's start with the NHL and the early game. 7:30, the Detroit Red Wings and the New York Islanders over 5.5 goals. I like it. It's another one of these. The Red Wings have good numbers hitting overs. The Islanders do not. But I have a feeling about this game, and you can trust my hunches, or you can fade them, or you can ignore them altogether. This one's not a 7:30. It's on MSG. I got this at -110. Now it's at -115. A little bit higher of a vig, but only needs 6 goals to cover this one on the over. Also at 7:30, NCAA March Madness Sweet 16. It's on TBS. I'm taking the Michigan money line. I took it at +175. It's all the way out to a +190 now, so obviously the money is on Villanova. We need to rectify this loss from the 2018 National Championship basketball game. We need this win, and if we can get this, Michigan, well, the sky's the limit in this tournament from there on out. That's the way I feel about it. Oh. And yes, that's my team, but I did bet against my team when they played Tennessee, so take that into consideration. It's not just straight up a homer pick. I do believe that this can happen. I think there's value in this money line. Moving on, NBA, 8 o'clock. Pacers are a 12.5-point dog. I'm taking those points. Grizzlies are on a back-to-back. I know they're a young team. I know they just dominated last night against the Nets without Ja Morant, which they seem to often do. This one's 8 o'clock on League Pass. You can grab it right now at -108 at BetRivers, a little bit better of a number. Everywhere else is going to give it to you at -110. Do with that information what you will. I'm taking the Pacers plus 12.5. I'm just riding it. NHL Predators money line -103 is where I got it at last night when it was pretty much both teams were in the minus odds. Knights were slightly favored when the line opened up. but the money came in on Nashville, so now it's minus 115 for Nashville. You got to pay a bit more of a vig. The Golden Knights have become an underdog in this game, which I thought they should have been from Jump Street. Glad I grabbed it early. 10 o'clock on ESPN Plus for this one. Nashville's the better team. Vegas let me down recently and got blanked the other night, so I'm going to ride the Predators. Final game, NCAA basketball, I'm taking the Houston Cougars money line plus 105 against the Arizona Wildcats. It's still sitting at plus 105. They're a very slight dog. This one's on at 10 o'clock on TBS. I think Houston's the better team, especially talking about, how Houston dominated Illinois, how Arizona barely got out against TCU in overtime. And maybe I'm taking too much from these first two rounds, but I just think Houston's the better team. I think Houston's got more staying power in the tournament. I think Arizona's a bit overrated. Everybody wants to talk about strength of schedule, strength of conference, Pac-12. I don't think it matters here. Call me crazy. Didn't matter last year when Gonzaga got to the championship. But I'm going to go with the Cougars here, and I have one idea, and here's why. I was going to take the Pelicans, and last night I was looking at these lines, and I jumped on some of them early, which I often do. Sometimes I do these videos the night before. Lately I've been doing them day of. I wanted to wait for this line, and it didn't move the way I thought it was going to. So I stayed away from it as far as an official pick, but I will give you the idea on it because I kind of like it, right? It's an idea. So I like the Pelicans money line tonight against the Bulls. Pelicans originally started out as a 1-point dog in this game, and then I looked at Action Network, which, take it for what it's worth, it showed like 88% of the money was coming in on Chicago. I thought this line was going to move, further out for Chicago, and you'd get more points with the Pelicans, in which case I was going to jump right on top of that this morning. That's not the way it happened. People came in and started betting more on the Pelicans. Pelicans are now a favorite, slightly. So I would take the Pelicans. I think they're the better team, or they will be at least tonight. I know that in history they have not been. I guess Levine is probably going to play. Big question mark. DeRozan's questionable, probable. Both of these guys are, you don't know. One of them will probably play. The other one, coin toss. I just think the Pelicans are pushing. They're fighting. They need to win games if they want to make a playoff. If they want a playoff opportunity for a play-in. So that's pretty much an important thing for them. They got the Lakers coming up too, but they need wins anywhere they can get them. And the Bulls have not been playing good ball. So I would take Pelicans money line. That is an idea. I did not put my own money on that. It's not an official pick. Let's recap the official plays before we end this thing out. I do want to make a little note. I'm not doing Saturday, Sunday. I did last weekend. I've been rolling right through for several days now. And, it's not that I don't bet on the weekends, but I spend a lot less time thinking about it. And I really don't bet. I don't bet as high volume generally on the weekends either. I bet higher during the week, and I bet more during the week on more games, and I make the plays, and I think a lot about what I'm doing because it affects more than just me. On the weekends, I can kind of willy-nilly it if I decide to, and sometimes that works out well for me. Sometimes it doesn't, but I need a break. I need a couple days. I think having the weekends off from the videos, having the weekends off from the more in-depth capping is helping me, and that makes it better when I have the weekday videos. So weekends, I did last weekend because it was March Madness and there was a lot going on, and I wanted to talk about all these games. Going back to weekday sports picks. That's the name of the show. That's the name of the game. We're going to keep it that way. There will occasionally be weekend shows, but I am not going to keep that thread going. I think I need it. I think that's going to help energize, re-energize, and refocus everything for me. So, recapping the picks for Thursday, Red Wings and Islanders over 5.5 goals, minus 115 there on at 7:30 MSG. Michigan Wolverines money line plus 190 now against the Villanova Wildcats, 7:30 on TBS in the NCAA. Pacers plus 12.5 in Memphis against the Grizzlies, minus 108 at BetRivers, minus 110 consensus 8 o'clock on League Pass for that one in the NBA. Nashville Predators minus 103, minus 115 now against the Vegas Golden Knights in Vegas. This one's on at 10 o'clock, ESPN Plus in the NHL. And then in college basketball, to round the night out, we're going to take the Houston Cougars money line, plus 105 against the Arizona Wildcats, 10 o'clock on TBS. That's the slate. Those are the games. 5 picks, 1 idea. Rewind if you need the idea and you didn't catch it. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will see you all tomorrow for Friday. And in the meantime, check me out tonight on Johnny Hahn Wins with Bo Dunn and T-Mac. We're going to talk a lot of Sweet 16, a lot of college basketball, and we'll cover the NBA as well. And if I can, I'll get my hockey picks on there as well. I'll drop the link in the comments. Keep it profitable.